Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another time here, another time in the book club. Thanks for making it. Thanks for coming. We missed last week. I had to go somewhere, but we're back today, and we're gonna be looking at chapter 18 today. Next week we'll look at chapter 19, 20 summary. We're done with the book. You know, so thanks for staying with me. Thanks for whatever part of this you caught, but I hope it's blessing you. I hope it's blessed you. I hope it's making a difference for you. That's the only reason I got to do this. Just believing that it means something to someone, is making a difference to someone. And thanks for all the feedback you get. Thanks for those of you that get to me, let me know how this is blessing you, is making a difference for you. That is the reason I do it. That's the only reason I do it, right? Because it's making a difference. I could be doing 1,001 other things. If you know me, you know that I'm a busy person, right? So I really don't have to do this, right? I got to do it because I know it's blessing somebody. And that the first person is blessing, guess what? It's me. It's blessing me, right? Some of these things I know, some of these things are new to me. The old things I get to remind myself of, the new things I get to increase myself with. It's a blessing to me, right? So if I was the only one that gets blessed by doing this, I'll continue doing it, because it is a blessing to me. It is increasing me. It's making me a better person. So I just hope that someone else other than me gets blessed. So anyways, welcome. Let me bring up the slides here and we'll shoot. Thanks. All righty. I guess you all can see my slide here. So that's the book we're on right now, Cleopatra's Riches, right? And we've been doing this. Here we are, chapter 18 today. And so today we do the chapter 18. Next week we do chapter 19. Upper week we do chapter 20. October 22nd, we do a summary of the whole book. And we'll take a break on the night, second Sunday in October. And we'll be back on the 16th with our next book, right? Business is Personal by Bethany Frankel. So that's going to be our 5th featured book, right? I do have my copy. I hope you can get your copy also before then. I have my copy here ready to go. And it does come with a study guide also. I do have my study guide. If you can lay hands on the study guide, that would help. If you can't, don't worry. I will use mine and we'll use that to direct ourselves and lead ourselves and get the best we can from this book, right? So that's going to be our 5th featured book, right? Business is Personal. I look forward to reading and sharing all about this, right? So again, going back to the book we're on right now, which is, where's my copy? Which is Matt's book, Cleopatra's Riches, right? And Marta does have a website there where she shares some more material for those of us that might want to get some more from it, right? Can link onto the website and see what you can download there. All right. So this is a second take on emotions, right? How it affects money, how it affects our financial empowerment, right? The first take, chapter 17, we introduced the topic. Today we're going to be looking at how emotions affect our earning money, right? And like every other chapter, Martha starts with a quote, an Egyptian quote, and this one says, "Do not let worry flourish, lest you become distraught," right? That you become unnecessarily agitated when you give place to worry, right? If you give place to worry, it's going to take a hold of you, right? And let me just take a second to welcome Han. And how are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning. Good
Good
afternoon.
good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, thanks for making it. It sure makes a difference when I have someone online. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks. All
Yeah.
right, so just starting with chapter 18 here. And it says, the quote that starts the chapter says, do not let worry flourish, right? So it means that we do have a control over worry, right? As Christians, we know that the worry is not of God. We have several parts in scripture that tells us not to worry, right? Jesus will say, don't take thought of what you're going to eat or drink, all of that, because God in heaven has all of that taken care of, right? Then what we'll find out is there's a difference between worry and concern, right? It all depends on what you're focusing on, right? Don't worry. It doesn't say don't be concerned, right? When you're concerned, you're looking at the solution. When you're worried, you're looking at the problem, right? Whether it's a worry or concern is a function of what you're focused on, right? And what you're focused on will take over you. If you focus on worry enough, it will lead to depression. It will become your master. It will become your Lord. I will give birth to everything that comes with worry. You focus on the solution, you will have faith arise inside of you. You will have the solution that you seek. You have light, right? Worry brings darkness. Focusing on the solution brings light, right? And all of that is important because it stirs the emotion inside of us that would either help us or hinder us in being able to hand money, right? I'm just going to look at a few quotes here that talks about worry as a whole, just look at it generally from different angles. Leo Boscagli says the word worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrow, but it serves today of its joy, right? So when we worry, we lose on every side, right? It doesn't solve tomorrow's problem. It doesn't erase the mistake of yesterday and just makes a mess of today. So we're a loser on all sides, right? We lost yesterday, we're losing tomorrow, and we're losing today, right? That's what worry does to us, right? Uh, Dean Speech says that if you treat every situation as a life or death matter, right, you're gonna die several times, right? Life is not it's not a do or die. It's not a this must happen, this must not happen. If you live your life like that, I mean, you're never going to enjoy life. We're here to enjoy life. We're here to be happy. We're not here to be always on the edge. I mean, you're not going to get the best out of life if that's the way you take life, right? Life is meant to be mastered, right? It's not meant to be followed, right? We're here to master life. We're here to master the art of living, right? Not just to be a follower, not to be mastered as well, but to master. We're here to master, not to be mastered. We're here to conquer, not to be subdued. We're here to have dominion and occupy, right? Take territories, right? Not to be overcome, right? And whether we do that or not, whether we fulfill the intent of our creation or why we're here, is a function of what we focus on, right? It's a function of the emotions that we're allowed to be stirred up on the inside of us, right? So I'm going to jump all the other definitions here, but key thing just looking at just that if you stir up negative emotions, you're going to get negative results. If you stir up positive emotions, you're going to get positive results. Worry is a negative emotion, right? That's why God says, don't worry, don't be anxious, because worry will not solve your problem. Anxiety will not solve your problem. It only makes it bigger, right? It only makes it bigger, never makes it smaller, right? So you're not going to become better. You're not going to grow taller, shorter because you're worried, right? And worry comes to us in different ways, right? I remember as I was growing up, uh, my early 20s, I started being too conscious about my height, right? I felt I was short, right? Even though I was taller than Habi a good number of people around me, but for whatever reason, I was conscious of my height, such that I was working with my shoulders raised up, more like, in somewhere in my subconsciousness, right? It was that I needed to be tall to be a man, right? I was having a feeling I was too short to be a man. I wasn't feeling like a man, right? It was like I was shorter than I should be. Yeah, a lot of people say to me, right, since I don't see myself, right, that I'm not too tall, I'm not short. I believe I am 5'11", that ain't short, right? Uh, so, but you see, that thought overcame me, such that it affected the way I related with people around me. So much so, someone I was close to noticed it, right? But you see, worry got me on the wrong track, and that happens to us, just things that have no bearing, at all. Similarly, takes us to a place where we're chasing things that have no substance, right? And we spend our time doing things we should not do, unproductive, right? And therefore, we don't have time to be productive, right? And anything you want to share along that line, anything, issue you've had with worry, that you've been chasing the rabbit in the wrong hole.
Well, I've always had a problem with worry. I worry about everything, but therapy has helped me not to, because I mean, you lose control when you worry, right?
Absolutely.
So therapy has helped me not, know that, I don't, the way I see it is like, I don't have any. Why am I worrying? Because I don't have any information. What
Yeah.
The information that I have is what I have right now. So if I'm worrying about tomorrow, I don't have the information about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So because I worry a lot, I worry about everything, and so I know that it's not healthy.
Absolutely.
But you lose control. I mean, yeah, like you say, you're concerned about something, yeah, but worrying, you lose control. Um, you lose control about life in general. I guess I think you don't have control. You don't give yourself the ability to think through what is going on and find a solution, because you're worrying about what you cannot control. And that, I think as humans, we like to be in control, and the biggest thing is when we're not able to be in control is when we start worrying and being overly concerned about stuff. So we can't be in control always.
Yes.
Only God is in control. And so,
absolutely.
I'm in work in progress. I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm a much better person than I was maybe last year.
Absolutely.
I'm still a work in progress, because that's naturally my inclination, is to start to immediately start. It's natural who I am. But I feel that in order for me to be better, I need to break that natural cycle. I need to drag myself back and tell myself, and you only have the information that you have right now. You don't have the information for tomorrow. What will the worry do? Like one of the quotes, like the first one says, "Worry it saps today's joy, but it never robs tomorrow's sorrow." Right, and it's true. That's really perfect. That's a perfect thing. It just saps your joy for today.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And that's what leads to depression. That's what leads to mental sickness, right?
Right.
Because it keeps your mind on overdrive.
Right.
You're thinking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, such that your mind circle gets tired, it gets worn out, right? Because the natural way God designed our mind is that once we see anything, right, our mind quickly runs back to our storage, to compare, because we're always interpreting everything we see. Right. So I go to a place and I see blue. My mind quickly runs back to look at my record. What does blue mean? Is there a special meaning to blue in my life? Oh, blue is what? Blue is this. What does it? Gets that information from the record, comes and interprets it, and decides on a decision what to do with blue. Right?
Right.
That is when the mind is efficiently working. That's the way God designed our mind to work. That everything we see, we quickly go to the old record. How do we define this? What does this mean to us? We get that definition, decide the action, right? That's the way. When the mind is working well, that takes incredibly small, minor seconds to happen that you don't even know that it's happening, right? So when the mind is in its proper state, but when the mind is tired, when it has been overworked, that takes longer, right? That's when people then get confused, they get blank, right? You say that person is mentally sick, right? And there are different levels of that, right? So, you know, and that's why, you know, sometimes you see some things, right? And you get stuck. Sometimes you just see some things and you're stuck. You know, we used to define it as, you know, like when someone finds a wife to be, right? Something just happens. You know, you get overwhelmed by what you're seeing at that point in time. You know, what is truly happening is that your mind has seen that thing, and something about that thing, when it goes back to the record, says this is special. You might not understand at that point in time why that thing is special, but there was just something in the record of your mind, in your subconsciousness, that says this is not like every other, this person is not like every other person I've seen, right? So you almost get blank. Something just records that this is not. What's happening at that point in time is whatever about that person, you know, either resembles your mother, your sister, or something you're looking for. That and you're not, so you feel a sense of seeming lost or overwhelmed, or you are drawn to that thing. You are like well stayed on that thing. You know, we used to joke about that. We say heaven came down and glory filled my heart or filled my soul, right? When such happens, right? We also have what we call deja vus, right? Where you are seeing something, somewhere you know you've seen this thing somewhere before, but you just couldn't recollect it at that point in time, right? It might be that you've seen it in your dream before, and now you're seeing it in reality, or just something somewhere just says, I've been here before. you know, just talking about different states of the mind, right? But basically, the mind's healthy state is that all of those interpretations take place in sort a very minor, nano milliseconds that you don't know is taking place, that the mind is just interpreting and telling you what to do next. But when you overwork the mind, that time increases. Then you say someone is mentally sick, right? So worry leads to mental sickness. In short, is all we're saying. You know, when you allow worry in your life, you are reducing the ability of your mind to function, right? And that would affect your ability to make the right decisions in any money, right? So we want to stay away from that as much as possible. It's not necessarily easy because it is a natural tendency for us, especially because based on how we grew up, you know, what happened in our family sector we grew in, where the family falls in the economic scale, what surrounded us, all of that affects us, you know, and determines our tendency or propensity to worry, right? But the key thing is that we can do something about it. It's not about solving it in just 1 second. It's that we continuously work at it, right? You know, there's always going to be a tendency to worry, but we need to just continue to master it, you know, which is what, like you've said, you're on that journey, you know, and it's, for as long as we're here, we're always going to have somebody that wants to make us to worry, right? It's just all about understanding that weakness, that potential, and knowing what to do to keep it at bay. I mean, that's what's important. Are we together on that?
Yes.
All right. So let me move on then. So all we've said is just say that our emotions affect our earning money, right? Our ability to earn money is tied to our emotions, right? Because it affects our mind, and our mind affects our perception, right? Again, there's no reality. Everything is the way we interpret it, right? Our worry affects our paradigm. It affects our template, our prism, the way we see life. And the way we see life determines how we earn money or not earn money. So there's all of that correlation to it. Another way to look at it is the fact that we're emotional beings, right? 90% of what of the content of the decisions that we make is our emotions, how we feel about it. And only 10% is logic. Even though after we have now made the decision, we now try to corroborate the decision we have made just to make ourselves feel good that, oh, it was a logical decision. Most things that we do is not because we use logic to get it. When I bought my house in the US, we went several places, looking for a house, and none of them fit the billing as to what we wanted, being something close to the children's school, and met whatever other criteria we wanted. We wanted a gated community, all of that stuff. But when we got to the house, our house, right, we just knew that was the house we wanted to buy. We just knew it was the house we wanted to buy. It wasn't the first house we're going into in that gated community. But when we went into that house, I knew it was the house we were going to buy, So it had nothing to do with logic. It just have this gut feeling on the inside of you, that says this is it, and that's why we need to protect that gut feeling. It's what's coming from what we call the intuitive mind, right? It's where we get guidance from within, right? So you want to always be in a good mental state where you can get guidance from within. The problem is that if you are too full of worry, you won't get it. You will get some guidance, but it will always be the wrong guidance because it will be a guidance coming from a place of fear, right? A God feeling doesn't come from fear; it comes from faith, right? But if you worry too much, you kill the faith that encourages or activates your God feeling that you're confused as to the decision because you're making a decision because of the things you're running away from, not the things you're running towards. A God feeling comes from the things you're running towards, not the things you're running away from. Fear activates you running away from, not to, right? Faith is running to, not from. Fear is running from. Faith is running to. God feeling is a running to, not a running from, right? Any experience with God feeling you want to check? You want to share?
I have a lot, but
anyone, just share one.
what do I say? I can't remember at the spot.
All right, no problem. No problem. You can, no problem. But you do understand the power of having a God's feeling. Your intuitive mind. Directing you. That's important. It's important to be able to work with that because the things that give you breakthrough in life are typically the things everybody says won't work. Right. Everybody says won't work, but somehow deep inside, this is the thing for me. Right. So you have to then be able to be in that state where you are seeing correctly, because if you're not in a proper state where you have built yourself on faith, you will tend to want to listen to what everybody's saying and go with the crowd, and you might miss just what is meant for you. But if you build yourself on faith, then it's easy for you to listen to and follow your gut feeling.
Right, but and sometimes even with your gut feeling, sometimes you doubt also.
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
like for instance, I was thinking like my um so we live close. We live so my church is like where we used to attend is like 45 minutes from where we live right now,
Yeah.
and I stay taking the kids because sometimes we'll stay home because doing the drive, taking the kids there, right?
Hmm.
It's a long drive. I mean,
Hmm.
we're used to the church. We love the church, but the drive down there for 45 minutes takes is a long drive, and so like
Hmm.
um and so there's a church close to us. It's called one community. It's a very good church. Anyway, they have different branches, but it's owned by I don't know if you know them, Pastor Conway. Oh yeah, they're very good
Conway,
friends.
ABC,
Yes,
AB
Pastor.
Conway, California.
No, not that one,
It's
Pastor.
not Bayless Conley.
No, Conway.
Oh no, Conway.
Conway.
All right, no. I
Yeah, but
know, I know Bayless, but not
they're,
Conway. I'm not sure.
they're very good friends of your pastor,
Oh,
Pastor Godman.
Joel.
Pastor Godman.
Oh, Godman. All right, good. Is it a Nigerian church?
No. It's
Oh, all
American.
right, all right. Oh,
So
cool,
anyway,
cool.
so anyway, so I said going there. At least we go
Hmm.
there. It's closer once in a we go there. Then the other church we go once in a while since it's far. Well,
Yeah,
and then they have it. This other people have a good. They have a good kids ministry.
awesome.
So so you doubt, even though you feel like okay, this is something that I want to do. I want to take the kids here because they have a good expose them, but
Hmm.
it's like you feel condemnation, right? Thinking that just like how you left
Glory.
Glory Land. It's
Uh
like
huh.
oh, you feel like okay, I shouldn't leave, right? I
Yeah,
shouldn't. You doubt, and
yeah,
I was like, and like I was praying last this week, and it's like I just felt this uneasy or this condemnation. Okay, that
yeah,
why am I going? Why am I taking the kids here? Because I know that it's not about me at the end of it, or it's about I want my kids to learn the faith and be
yes,
exposed to, and also it's for me to just stay home. I rather go to somewhere that is 10 minutes, just 10 right here.
yes,
But you doubt, even though that
yes,
and it's like I felt this overwhelming condemnation, this and there's something that while I was kneeling down, having a quiet time and praying, there's something that said, God has not given me the spirit of fear,
absolutely.
but of power of love and a sound mind. And even
Yes,
though you feel like the condemnation is coming from God because you are
yes,
trying to do something different, right?
yes,
I
yes,
have to fight myself. I have to fight that thought that God is not that kind of a father.
yes,
Not that kind of a father, even though that I know that this
yes,
is the reason why I'm doing this, and then but it's like because I felt like the condemnation is from God, and that's what you are saying. It's like
yes,
I have to be like this morning now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the keys to this closed church. It's like, oh, now you're about to go there again. I told you not
yeah,
to go there. I'm like,
yeah,
what? I said, no, God has not given me the spirit of fear. You know,
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
like what you're saying is like it's hard because naturally do you want to you feel this overwhelming condemnation because of your
Yes,
upbringing, number one,
yes,
your community, where you grew up. It's like it's a taboo to leave a church. If you leave a church,
yes,
it's the problem, you know.
yes,
So
yes,
it's like that's so that's what you're really saying is true. You got to trust your instinct. You have to
absolutely.
trust you have to trust that God is not a weak. The way I see God is like, oh, God will say, oh, you can't go there, you can't do that, like he's a master.
Yes,
But that's not how God is.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And that's what Papa Ege used to teach us. It's the fact that because you're born again and you're renewing your mind, you should be able to trust your mind as a guide,
Right.
right? People who don't know God, who are cross Christians, who don't understand resurrection, will tell you, oh, the mind is absolutely wicked. Blah, 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 blah. It's a lie of the devil, right? When we get born again, we have the seed of God inside of us.
Hello.
We have the
Right.
mind of Christ, right? If I'm born again, there's a seed of the Son inside of me. And I have the mind of Christ. Not that I have the mind of Christ. I can make righteous decisions,
Mm, mm, mm.
right? So when I make a decision that I know is not against the word of God because I'm in fellowship
Right.
with the word of God,
Right.
God will support it.
Right.
Yeah, I can make righteous decisions because I have the mind of Christ. Not that I will have, I have the mind of Christ. Yes, I do have it. Yes, I'm still growing into Christ, no doubt.
Right.
But it doesn't change the fact it's a present continuous tense, not a future tense, not a past tense. It's a present continuous tense. I have the mind of Christ. I can make God decisions. So
Right.
when I make a decision and I have a sense of peace in my heart, I can rest on that decision.
Right.
So tradition wants to take that away from us, right? Culture wants to take that away from us. We've been sold the lie that you can't take that. I don't know if this is lies, right? And they're not of God. They're making a lot of people live less than God wants them to live. Right. When I got back from the US in 2016, deep inside of me, God wanted me to make a change.
Right.
But all of this where I was in between, all right, I'm back. Should I go glory, not go glory, far away, or stay with the old things? Because I'm happy in glory of my life, been so long that it's kind of like what I'm used to, easy to flow back, if I'm not there, or people will ask, what are you doing this? I had different other churches I could go around, like Elevation was just here, just a stone throw, I intentionally didn't go to Elevation because I felt if I go there, I'm most probably going to stay there. Something inside of me just said, if I go there, I'll stay there. And I intentionally didn't go there for that reason, So I was in between. I knew God wanted me to do something, to make a change, but I could not place my hands on it, And so I did try some other places, right, around other than Elevation, Foursquare. None of them really met the cry of my heart. Right. I couldn't place where the cry of my heart was, but I knew that there was something in the offing for me. Unfortunately, I dragged through all of those periods. And I believe, I was just meditating 2 weekends ago, and what God was telling me was that my passivity through those periods of not being able to be intentional and locking down something, opened the door for the enemy's attack, which God allowed, which God allowed, right? Because God expected me to take steps I did not take. I allowed fear to have its way, right? And God, as it were, was trying to push me away from that and allowed, God scattered my whole life. God scattered my whole life. I could almost say God is wicked. But God scattered my whole life till I didn't know when I was out. I'd spiritually left before my physical body left, such that my physical body couldn't go back. But that was the result of all the orchestration of all the trouble around me, which I could have avoided by just being intentional, doing something, making a decision, right? That passivity of it opened the door of the enemy, right? And that's what God was witnessing to me two weekends ago, as I was meditating on Anna and Penina, meditating on Asa. God was just, God was more like telling me, the same thing that happened with Asa. God gave Asa 20 years of rest. But in that 20 years of rest, Asa lost intentionality. Right? He lost intentionality. Got used to not being challenged. He became passive. Right? God occasioned trouble to get him back online. Unfortunately, he had been so passive that he had lost his edge with God. He was no more sharp, such that he had trouble. Instead of doing what he did 20 years back, he now walked in his flesh, right? Instead of calling on God, you took money from the house of God to call a man, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's where you get to. You get into the flesh when you're not in, because intentionality is faith. To be intentional is an act of faith, right? It is to be deliberate, to be intentional. It's an act of faith, right? So yeah, you have to make decisions for yourself. Yeah, it might be the best church, but if it's not working out for your schedule, for your reality, right? Your reality is the children and all the other things that go along, with COVID, your work schedule, you have to always make the right decision, right? It can be a temporary decision, it can be a permanent decision,
Right.
but it must be orchestrated by faith, not fear.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Thank you.
great example. And as much as that affects, church decision, it affects every other decision in our life, right?
Right.
Every other thing that we do, it
Right.
affects that, right?
Everything. I mean, another example is now. Okay, I said when I had Azariah when I was I had Azariah 2 months before I turned 40. Let's say I was 40,
Yeah.
and so by we was having a time we were having Azariah. I said that we discussed between the both of us, and if we wanted another kid, we're like, okay, this is it for us,
Yeah.
right? And so I had my cesarean section, and also we talked through it. Our doctor gave us time to think about it because I had them through cesarean section. I said, okay, if you wanted me to have a tubal ligation, which is you tie your tubes, right? So you don't have another baby. So that why she was still there. So we decided, okay, that was, um, that's something that Manuel said we were done. We didn't want any more, and so.
Yeah.
And we're satisfied with what we had. But every time it's like people say, oh, God can do a miracle, and I told my husband, I said, there's a time I told my husband, I said, am I doing the right thing? Did God really? God is not speaking to my ear that okay, but I feel like this is it for me. I mean, I've been, my history. I've been pregnant 5 times, and I think I'm okay, so. And then, but my husband told me one thing. He said, babe, God gives us ability to choose.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a God that can do anything, right? He's still in control, but he gives us the ability to think and the ability to think and the ability to make decisions like what you're saying that is good for your family. Okay, if we the Africans, most times we are always worried about the decisions that we make because of our upbringing, right? Because of the way we're brought about community that God does not support what you're doing, you can have as many more kids as you don't need a family plan. But I said, is this not this white the Caucasians, these people in the Western world, pastors, they're still, I have 2 kids and I'm done with the 2 kids. They're able to make decisions and they're growing in their faith. But everything that we do, we it's like you are condemned. You're full of condemnation in making decisions that you think is going to work for your family. Man, it's like, no, God is not that kind of a God. He doesn't think like that. And this is it for us. This is it. We've told God this is it for us. We're grateful. This is all we can handle right now. All we can handle. So we need God will honor that.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing too that like I mean, another example that we have had to trust our God instinct.
Absolutely. That's important. And if God has an overriding need, it will let you know in a way that you will not, you'll be very sure it is God. God will not just tell you in one way, he will tell you in 2 ways, 3 ways. He will bring confirmation just bring clarity. Because God respects your decision. He will not override it. But if there's something that you are myopic about that he wants you to do, it would show it in a way that you will not be in doubt. meaning that God will tell you directly. He will bring people around you. He will confirm it as many times as you need to know that surely this is God.
Right.
You know, because not a lot of confusion. If you need something, he will let you know in a way that you will know beyond doubt that this is God.
Right.
You know, but he does respect our decisions. And and that's what he was talking about in Revelation. It says that I will rather have you to be hot or cold. I want you to be people that make decisions. Make your decision to be hot if you want to be hot. If you don't want to be hot, make your decision to be cold. What I don't like is people that don't make decisions, lukewarm people.
Right.
See, those are the ones I'm going to spew out of my mouth. If you are hot, yes, I'll work with you, I'll keep you hot. If you are cold, yes, we'll do evangelism towards you so that you can become hot. But if you are lukewarm, I don't know what to do with you. Right? God wants us to make decisions. And we can make decisions. We can make God decisions because we have the mind of Christ.
Right.
You know, we need to learn and grow to trust ourselves and not be second doubting. I'll be second guessing. Right.
Second guessing. Right.
Once we have a sense of peace in our mind, in our being, we'll do it.
Right. And every day when Isaiah is giving me stress and everything, I was like, God, thank you, because I don't have any energy for but my fault is I'm tired.
Absolutely.
So it's like I say, and God understands, so He knows who we are. He knows.
Absolutely.
And that I mean, our church gave us the good foundation for us to grow. It gives us the foundation.
Absolutely.
But the way we were taught is everything that you do, okay, if you make any decision, is problem. If it's not, but God is not like that.
Absolutely.
He knows. And every time I've had these kids, I know the stress I've had to go through with the children's hospital, because their newborn screening always brings a red flags. And then they will want to do test upon test upon test. And it took us faith to stand on the word of God and say there's nothing wrong with our kids and fight them. But every time it's like they flag their newborn test come back abnormal, one of them. And I said, God, I can't do this. I can't, if I'm good, I cannot do this anymore. It took us faith to stand on the word of God and fight these people and tell them there's nothing wrong with our kids. But it took 2 years for them to clear Azariah. 2 years, So I'm like, if every time we have a child, this happening, then God, thank you for seeing us through this too. We are good. I don't want to deal with the stress, the issues that with these people. So it's like God understand, and that's something that I myself need to tell myself, because like you say, you need to renew my mind every day. That God is not mad at me. That God knows, God understands, and even though I feel those overwhelming condemnation. It's like, oh, this, that, oh, are you sure are you doing? God is not, those voices will keep coming, but it's not of God. And God is not going to come and clean it out for me. I need to do the work myself.
Absolutely. And that's true. And it's a growth position. When I came to faith back in 1983, I mean, it was just me making a decision in my house. I just finished my O-levels, school start. I was alone at home. I just know that I had friends that were reading the Bible. I just finished school start. I had nothing else doing. So I started picking up that interest reading the Bible myself. And I was alone at home. Growing up, I've been going through Catholic schools, Catholic elementary school, Catholic secondary school. I had made a promise, a private prayer to God that I was going to be a priest, By this time I said, God, forget about the priest side, huh? And not marrying is not in my calendar, God, but I'll serve you. That's what I told God, in the secret of my heart, in the secret of my home, nobody, no third party, just me and God, and then I heard about the scripture union camp that was taking place around that time. So I went to the scripture union camp, and it started talking about born again, it was the first time that it made meaning to me. I probably had heard about born again before that, but it didn't hit me the way it hit me in 1983, because where we grew up, our house where we grew up, we have a mission in front of us.
Right.
Evangelical Church of West Africa, which they own, they and a what they call Sudan Interior Mission. It was a missionary group that owned the compound in front of us, which is affiliated to Equa Church. So they used to have program we go for. They also have what they call Youth for Christ. So they do different programs. We'll go there just opposite my house. And we several times they talk about giving life to Christ. We give our life to Christ as many times as we went there. It didn't mean we didn't live with any meaning other than that we did what they told us to do. But in 1983, I personally one-on-one to God said, God, I'm giving my life to you. The only reason I went to that camp is, I said, so me, the other people like me who love God like me. That's the only reason I went for that camp. Then I started hearing about born again. So there's something called born again, different from me, the private one I did with God. So I went and I did all this born again thing, but everyone that came to give testimony used to talk about, when I got born again, I had joy. The way they spoke about it, it was like there was a physical manifestation,
Right.
So, but I had no physical manifestation. My feelings didn't change. And even when they were leading me, I wasn't even sure if Jesus Christ was hearing me. Because all I know is I'm supposed to be talking to God, but they said, Jesus, I did whatever they told me to do. But I had no feeling whatsoever. So I was wondering if I was born again or not. So that was the beginning of my struggles and doubts. So I first of all struggle because I had to ask Jesus Christ several times because I was not having the same feeling everybody was having, until finally they says by faith. So I just took it by faith,
Right.
But I had at that point I started having struggling with doubts, because coming from first of all that feeling to I'm alone now back at home. Something would tell me to fast. If I don't fast, I feel like I've committed sin.
Right.
All of that. I struggled with that for years. At some point in time, it troubled me so much I became sick, right? That I lost 1 year of school. I got to school. I'd gone to register. I got a accommodation. I got a squatter. Came back to Lagos. Did not go back that year. I had to defer to the next year. But I went through that kind of struggle like you're talking about where, someone will tell me to fast. If I fast, all of that. If I don't fast, I feel like I've sinned. I struggled with that for years, till I was able to, out of knowledge, come out of it, but it is a lowly state. I'm just trying to associate with what you've said, let you know something I've been through. Right, but it's an immature state. It's not a place where you want to be, right? It's not a place of growth, right? But it's part of the journey, all right? And that journey now is for you to build yourself by being intentional, making decisions and staying with it, and not second guessing yourself. Then you can move. You can take your life to your faith, your life, everything about you to the next level, Yeah, you get it.
Right.
So
Right.
so you're on the right path, just keep pressing and God will continue to help you. Yeah. So we have positive and negative emotions, obviously we want to stay with the positive ones and stay away from the negative ones if we're going to, get the best out of life and get the best out of the emotions, One of those good emotions is being happy, right? If you're sad, you're not going to be able to you're not going to earn money. Sadness does not help you in making money. Right. Happiness does. And happiness is a choice, right? I was chatting with someone because I posted something on joy earlier on this morning on Facebook. And someone I believe is in India. which we're chatting together, and he had said something, and I had to just correct that this was the quote. That first was the quote. I replied him, and I ended up posting it also widely. Is the fact that happiness is a choice. I am not happy because of what I have. I am happy because I decide to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't decide to be happy, there's nothing you will get in life that will make you happy. Even if they make you president, you will still not be happy. Because happiness is a sense that everything is not okay. And in this life, there will always be a reason that everything is not okay.
Right.
Even if you live in America, there'll be the sense, oh, I don't have the right house. I don't have the right baby. Oh, I don't have a girl. My husband is six not. I don't have a boy. I mean, there's every reason not to be sad. Oh, I'm living in this place. There's no snow. Oh, it's too hot. It's too cold. I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. There's always a reason to be sad.
Yeah.
You can always find a reason to be sad. So happiness has nothing to do with what you have or what you don't have. It's a decision. You decide to be happy or not happy.
That's true.
So you decide to be content with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You decide to see yourself in the right light, that this is me. I am happy with me.
Right.
I might not be the best. I might not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And I'm on my journey to where I want to be. Right? So I'm happy. I'm happy the fact that I'm even trying, that I'm alive. I'm happy. I woke up. I'm not in the hospital. I'm happy. That also ties to being grateful.
Yes.
Right? Gratitude brings about happiness.
Happiness, yeah.
Yeah. Happiness leads to gratitude also. So it's a choice. And when you're happy, then it affects every area of your life.
Yeah.
Right? And that happiness helps you in earning money. Right?
Yes.
Because it stirs up the right energy. It stirs up the right power. It affects your perception. It affects the way you see things. It gives you the ability to not be in a hurry. It stabilizes you. It doesn't cause you to be running after the Joneses. Oh, my neighbor just bought a new car. Oh, we need to buy that car. Our car is just 1 year. It's 1 year old. It's already getting old. Oh, new model has come out. Oh, look at them. When you're happy, it stabilizes everything about you. So you know that your happiness has nothing to do with the fact that I have a 2023 model. Oh, my own door car opens upwards or downwards. Your happiness is not dependent on external things. So you're not being controlled by those things there, right? Your control is internal, not external, right? And that stabilizes you as far as earning money is concerned, right? Yeah. But unfortunately, if you have sadness, then you are looking for things to make you happy. So you are chasing shadows.
Yes.
Oh, you think that having a Benz will make you happy, so you buy a Benz. You bought a Benz, but your Benz is 2005, and the 2023 has come out. So your happiness is gone because you don't have a latest Benz. So you buy 2023 Benz. Oh, but there's something called Jaguar. Is Jaguar not better than Benz? You go and buy Jaguar. If you're sad, you can never be content because you're always chasing shadows, right? You're chasing people around you. All right, they have a new wristwatch, they have a new phone. Apple has bought another one. Oh, the camera is better on the latest phone. You're going to be chasing shadows. And you're not going to meet your goals, right? If you're hungry, also, it destabilizes you. Your anger is not a steady state, right? If you're fearful, obviously, everything that is done out of fear, it doesn't end well, right? So you want to steer yourself towards faith, steer yourself towards happiness, steer yourself towards being grateful, and you have the right emotions that will help you, as far as money is concerned, right? And some of this come from being aware, right? Because sometimes we have some emotions around us that We've gotten so used to them that we think that they are normal, and they are affecting
Right.
us in ways that we don't know how bad they are affecting us,
Right.
but we think it's normal. Whereas then they are killing us, yeah. So there's a need to be aware of all the negative emotions in our life, and just say bye-bye to them,
Right.
welcome the positive emotions in our life, you know. uh, I am very conscious of any witchcraft spirit around me, and uh, I've grown being subjected to witchcraft, you know what witchcraft is, right?
Yes. Yes.
Witchcraft, people imposing their own will
On their own
upon
will.
you.
Yeah. Upon you. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and have had enough of that. Is that's not helped me, so I'm very conscious of
Yes.
it. I'm very anti witchcraft. If I see someone that's trying to impose anything on me, I'm going to fight that person to the last. I'm
Right.
not going to
Right.
allow my
Right.
emotions to be troubled because someone is trying to make me what I'm not.
What you're
You
not.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, you need to be conscious of that because people typically would want to put you in their small box,
Right.
right? When you are yourself, they feel that you are a threat, so they try to talk you down so that you can fit their small box because they want to put in their small box so they can control you. You
Right.
know, so yeah, so we all need to mature to the place where we don't allow people, push us around and try to fit us into a small box. Because when we do that, then we get limited in life. We don't live up to all that God has for us. So we want to be fit conscious and want to be uh, you know conscious of the negative such that we don't allow them to control us. I mean, conscious of the positive such that we open the door for them in our life. And like we said, one of the key things is to be grateful. I mean, I've come to the place where I see life, the way life is. I don't read too much life. I'm grateful that I'm alive today because I could have been dead, right? I could have
Right.
been dead. So every minute that I have, I'm grateful for, right? I'm not trying to be protective of anything because I'm only alive because of God. With all the troubles I've been through, depression, all of that, I should be dead, but I'm not. I'm alive. So I'm not chasing after anything. I'm not chasing after the latest car. I would love to have it, but it doesn't determine my happiness. My
Right.
happiness is that I'm just alive. I'm grateful for
Right.
the second I have, to live. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for my children, my wife. Have a roof over my head. I have the basic things in life. So that's what gives me joy. That's where I define my happiness by. Not in competing with anybody. Uh, it's having my own goals, my own vision, and walking that route. So that helps. One of the things I've said severally also is when I started this farm business, you know, I had to create or frame it in such a way that it would give me the right emotions, right, for making money. And that is by tying it to develop the village that were there, right? So when I see myself pursuing to make the money back, I'm seeing what I plan to use it for. The lives that are going to be blessed. But I'm going to make money, no doubt. But you see, me, just when I say about me, it doesn't evoke the joy, the happiness that I need that will make me be able to put all my energy to do it. So I had to give myself a higher purpose for doing it. That higher purpose drives me, right? So I'm not doing it just for making money, right? And like I say again, I don't really need it if it's talking about money, right? I'm an employee, right? I'm a salaried employee, right? So I don't really need it in the word need. Nor do I need to accumulate what I don't need. So I have to give a definition around it. And that definition is what gives me energy to pursue it, right? Because I see what it will bring about, you know. So that's just part of being of consciousness, being aware and managing your emotions, around money. You have anything to say on that before I close on this one?
Not really. It's like I mean, this book. I feel like okay, it talks about our the money, right? Also, it's talking about. I think
Yeah.
it mostly like how relationship affects your money. How like positive thinking
Yes.
affects the way that you make money, right? So
Yes.
I know even though it's talking about money, I don't think it's literally about money,
Yes. It's
right?
talking about how to. It's more talking about. It's saying that your ability to grow financially is dependent on your ability to grow as a person.
Right,
So
right,
as you're growing as a person, you're able to attract money into your life.
no, right,
If you're able to
right.
affect at the extent to which you're able to address the issues of your life is the
Right.
cup that you're creating that God can pour into.
Take a point too. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So he's talking about money, but not directly. Yes.
Not directly, yes. Yes.
Yes. He's
Yeah.
talking about you preparing the container that
Right.
will attract the money.
Attract the money. You're right. Right. I like that analogy she gave about the couple who
Yes.
did not yeah, where they don't talk about their emotions, and you don't communicate. You assume about what you
Yes.
do. Yeah. So it's about money, but it's indirectly.
Yes. Yes. That's true. That's true. Yeah, because those are the real issues, those are the real issues. You have people that are good, they're good mentally, they're good, they're probably read economics, banker, all of that. But it's those small things, the leaven that leavens the whole lump that kills
Right.
them. They make so much money, but they're not happy. They're
Right.
living the best house, but they're not happy, right? They are CEO, but they are sad. They are not fulfilled, right? So what's the use of money if you're not fulfilled?
They're not
You
fulfilled.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So success, good success is being fulfilled.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, this 4 points here just talks about the ways in which we can control our emotion, right? And the first thing is having a budget, right? If you don't have a budget, your money is in control of you.
Right.
Right. The basic way we control money is to have a budget,
Have a
right?
budget.
Have a plan for every money that comes into your hand before the money comes into your hand.
Right.
Because money is spirit. Once money comes into your hands, that spirit, if you don't have a budget for it, the spirit of money will control you.
Mm.
The spirit of money will bring people your way to blow away all the money because
And the
somehow
money.
everybody will smell that you have money, right?
Right.
And you also will begin to see things that want you to blow that money, right? So money has a spirit. The way to control the spirit of money is to have a budget for the money, and it's best done before the money comes into your hand.
To
Because
your
once the
hands.
money comes into your hand, the spirit is already in operation.
Right.
You're struggling. That spirit is the emotion of money.
Right. You're right.
You're fighting with that emotion once that money is in your hands. But if you can have a plan for it before it comes into your hands, your plan is your weapon to control
Right.
money.
To control money.
Yeah, the
Mm.
budget controls the money. Then you take away your emotions, right? Now you are operating your budget by faith.
Perfect. Yeah.
But if you allow that money come into your hands before you start thinking of it, the spirit of that money will control your plan.
Right.
And your plan typically will be suboptimal once that money is already in your hand. So a budget is it's a powerful way to control money and keep money from controlling you, right? And also you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We talked about the fact that our natural tendency is to want to understand all things.
All right.
Right? But that is a carnal disposition. God did not create us to call understand all things. So if I understand all things, then I don't need faith. I need faith because I don't understand all things. If I understand all things, I don't need faith. I need faith because I don't understand all things. I don't know all things. So faith is what I use to handle the things I don't know. If I know it, I don't need faith. If I understand it, I don't need faith. But by faith, we understand. By faith, we know. We were created as faith beings. Right? So not knowing, not understanding is natural, is normal for a faith person. A religious person tries to explain everything because that person lacks faith. Everything is not for explanation. That's why God was talking in Deuteronomy. He says the things he has revealed to you, those are the things you need to focus on. Run with what he has revealed to you. Don't worry about what he has not revealed to you. God holds us responsible for what we know, not what we don't know. When you run with what you don't know will reveal itself. Right? So we run with what we know, not what we don't know. The more we walk with what we know, what we don't know will reveal itself. Right? And the third one is we need to ask questions and seek understanding. Right? What we don't know, if we know anybody that knows, ask. Right? If you don't ask, then you're at fault. Right? Ask and you shall be given. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. Right? So that's the essence of what's discussing here, and gaining knowledge, gaining understanding, getting confidence, right? Because the more I know, the less I'm susceptible to fear. Because fear rides on what I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So the other part around it is having a goal, having a vision, and checking in how you are doing on it and staying on track, right? Letting your goals direct you, So that all of that, when you do that, then emotions go away. Everything is according to the plan that you have.
Right.
All right. I've enjoyed this time together.
Yeah.
I hope you did also.
Yes, I did. I actually do love this. I like the book. Actually, I didn't read it for a long time, and I just picked it up like I believe maybe 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I picked it up, and I think I read one chapter till 3 a.m. I know not one time. I read three for like the beginning for like almost 5 minute chapters till 3 a.m. I didn't want to drop the book.
Wow,
because
that's good.
It's not talking like, it's not direct. It's live.
Yes.
It's talking about other things that, like, even for me, my relationship with my husband. How do I come my how positive communication versus negative communication. Positive thinking, negative thinking is like, it's talking about is money, but it's not directly money. It's things you can apply in your life every day.
Yes.
Things you can apply in your life every day, making assumptions. No, that's what we do in marriage. What is the argument about? Okay, because I made assumptions. This but it's not it's like I cannot make assumptions about that person. Okay, this is what is thinking. So of the book, because it's your upbringing. What the things that you heard. Okay, you cannot be like she always talk about how her parents wanted her to be a doctor. And some people will say, okay, trauma. That's why I tell people that, like, for instance, I went to a boarding school, right? I went to a boarding school, and before I read this book, this chapter, I went to a boarding school, and the boarding school, it was in Jos. I knew the stress. How boarding school is headache in Nigeria, and then command secondary school, they dealt with us. Anyway, so one of my friend she's American. She's here. No, she's not American. She's Nigerian, but she went to school in Nigeria, but she's part here. She said that all those things are trauma. I said, it's not trauma to me. Right away, it's not trauma. It's the way you look at it. I said, because
absolutely,
I said because I have memories that when I meet with my classmates, we laugh about all these things that happened to us, and we sing all this song. I said no, it's not trauma. I said because that school made us who we are. A lot of us that graduated from my set are doctors, lawyers. We are like when we see ourselves, we cannot believe where God has brought us from, because He made us who we are. He gave us the foundation of who we are. Me coming to America after high school, that was why, because it's like God took me to that place to train me, to be able to be here, to be able to deal with every temptation that is out here, to be able to. He took me there purposely to train me, and I said no, it's not a trauma, and that is what she was saying, that you have to look at your life experiences in a positive way.
Absolutely, yes.
And that just hit me when I read it. She said because our parents wanted her to be a doctor. She could have said, "Oh, my parents, all the negative things my parents wanted me to be that." But she looks at it that her parents want the best for her, and that is why they're thinking that way. So I'm like, I think I need to reread the book, because I've put a lot of lines in that.
That's good. I'm happy to hear.
But it's a good book. I mean, it's not literally talking about money, but the things that in your whole life, in things that you can apply. So I really like the book. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. All right, let me let you go. Have a great remaining of the day.
And you too. Say hi to
All right.
Auntie.
She will hear. Bless you. Greet your husband for me.
I will.
All right. See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye.
God willing. Thank you.